Chapter 4: The Truth About Hypnosis. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear of the term hypnosis? For many people, the answer is this: a Hollywood film with a terribly executed scene complete with a hypnotist and his mythical swinging watch. Across the hypnotist is the poor individual that is about to be sent to some place in their mind that they have yet to visit in over 20 years. The truth is that in the real world, hypnosis is less dramatic. In the simplest terms, hypnosis is a form of manipulation that involves reducing a person's awareness of their external surroundings and heightening their inward attention. When an individual is under hypnosis, they respond to suggestions more favorably because their critical thinking is impaired. This is why the movies will show a subject responding unquestioningly to commands from a hypnotist. There is some science behind hypnosis, and it involves understanding how the human mind works. The human brain is structured in such a way that there is the conscious mind that controls critical thinking and the subconscious mind where memories are stored. The critical mind is what tells you that crossing a busy road without looking is dangerous and stupid, while the subconscious mind is likely to tell you that losing weight is difficult because the memories of the last time you, unsuccessfully, tried losing weight are stored therein. Hypnosis works by altering the subconscious thoughts you have about certain things and replacing them with better and more beneficial thoughts. Busting the myths about hypnosis and manipulation. It seems almost impossible to imagine that hypnosis is in use in our everyday lives, but the truth of the matter is that it is. You may not have any swinging watches thrust in your face, and your eyes might be open all the time during your waking time, but you are most definitely being hypnotized as you go about your daily life. How so? When is the last time you read a really engrossing book that made you lose track of what was happening around you? While you were in that state of being fully absorbed in your book, you were essentially hypnotized. The high chances are that you were not even remotely aware of other people walking past you and going about their lives. Rather, you were on a train somewhere riding along with the thoughts and actions of the book's main character. This is hypnosis in real life. No hypnotists and no watches, just you and your subconscious mind taking a trip to an alternate universe. Self-induced hypnosis is also common in children who often slip into this state at least several times in a day. This is why you'll call out to your child while they are watching their favorite cartoon series without any response. They are not deliberately ignoring you. They simply cannot hear you because they have tuned out the conscious mind and world and are existing in a different world where they are fully attuned to the subconscious. Artists and athletes who need focused attention to perform excellently in their sport or art often also go into hypnotic trances during their performances. Many will refer to this trance as being in the zone. What often happens is that the artist's mind is so focused on what they are doing that nothing else matters during this period. Writers also get in the zone as far as the writing process is concerned. When this happens, you might find the writer transported into the world that they have woven with their words. Unable or unwilling to leave this world, the writer will churn thousands of words per day when they have previously been unable to go beyond a few hundred words thanks to writer's block. When it comes to manipulation and mind control, certain groups and individuals have mastered effective ways of utilizing hypnosis to their advantage. For instance, making a lengthy speech and holding a long and seemingly never-ending seminar both have the effect of sending the audience into a trance-like state. This may be because of boredom or tiredness or a combination of both. When an audience is in this state, they are more agreeable and likely to sign up for whatever it is that you are offering. This is something that many cult leaders have mastered and would explain why many cult meetings are often long and dreary. You will rarely find that a cult meeting has ended in a few minutes. If you conclude a meeting in 15 minutes, the attendants' minds will still be sharp and questioning. But if you go on and on for hours, they begin to slip out of consciousness unknowingly and will not be as opposed to your suggestions as they would have been in the first 15 minutes. Another tactic that is used to achieve hypnosis is the presentation of contradicting information as if it is not contradicting but totally logical. What does this mean? As mentioned earlier in this chapter, there is a part of your brain that thinks critically. This part of the brain is what keeps you alive and out of trouble by helping you process important information. When this part of the brain is bombarded with contradictory information without being given sufficient time to process it, it shuts down. That is why it is always so important to step back and process information, especially when you feel as if you are being rushed to make a decision in any situation. When your critical thinking has been bypassed, you are likely to accept any suggestions given to you even though these would not be accepted by a normal thinking person who is in tune with the logical parts of their mind. How to hypnotize someone without them knowing. In everyday life, you can use hypnosis to get what you want out of people without them suspecting what you are up to. A good thing about hypnosis as a tool of manipulation is that it is subtle and leaves behind no evidence. Unlike lying where you might get caught up in your lies, hypnosis leaves no traces behind. Nobody will walk up to you and accuse you of hypnotizing them into doing something. In the worst-case scenario, you are only going to be accused of having a way with something. That Jake, he has a way with the ladies, they will say. What they don't know is that you have mastered the art of hypnotizing ladies into doing exactly as you say. The first step to successfully hypnotizing a person is to form a connection with them. Very rarely will you be able to hypnotize a stranger with whom you share no bond at all. Forming a connection with a person is relatively easy. You just need to watch your body language and theirs as well, and their facial expressions, and respond appropriately. The whole point of establishing a connection is to ensure that the other person is open to you and will respond favorably to your subtle mind control, otherwise known as hypnosis. After making certain of the existence of some rapport between you and your subject, make use of any of the following tips to hypnotize them. Tip number 1, throw them off the familiar. The human mind loves patterns. They are easy to interpret, predictable, and comforting. Patterns are a big component of the comfort zone and do not require a whole lot of critical thinking. What are the patterns you have established in your life, and how do they help you? For many people, patterns simplify life. Let's consider a simple pattern that can be interrupted with the intention of hypnotizing a person. Let's say you and your spouse have a way of saying goodbye every morning before work that involves a quick hug and a kiss on the cheek. One morning, you are feeling particularly philanthropic and decide to replace your pattern with a tight lingering hug and a full kiss on the lips. Your spouse's mind will be thrown into disarray because that is not what the mind is used to. In the 5 seconds of confusion that will ensue in your spouse's mind, you will have a narrow window for a hypnotic command. Can you make lasagna today? Sure, your spouse responds instantly. On any other day, they would have sat back and considered the work involved in making lasagna and probably suggested an alternative. On the day that you throw them off your pattern, they will say yes without thinking too much because you have essentially short-circuited their conscious mind. Tip number 2, make use of the Zygarnic Effect. In psychology, the Zeigarnic Effect is the concept that people are more likely to remember incomplete tasks than those which have been completed. Think about it, if you intend to do your laundry, you are likely to have this thought lingering in your mind until you actually wash all your dirty clothes and put them away. Soon after completing your laundry duties, you will no longer have any interest in remembering anything to do with laundry. The Zygarnik Effect was named so after a Russian psychologist who investigated the phenomenon after being inspired by her professor. The professor, one Kurt Lewin, made the observation that a waiter was able to remember more accurately the orders that were still unpaid. In everyday life, the Zygarnik Effect is used in many scenarios. Soap operas and television series, in particular, are keen to leave their audience wanting more by ensuring that each episode ends with a cliffhanger. When the episode ends anticlimactically, your brain stores this in your short-term memory as an incomplete task. This is why you keep going back to your favorite soap opera, because your mind tells you to finish what you started. As long as the incompleteness is lingering somewhere in your brain, your attention will be drawn there. To hypnotize someone using the Zygarnik Effect, consider telling an exciting story complete with pauses in between during which you give them hypnotic commands. This might look something like this. You will not believe what happened last weekend when I decided to go hiking with my friends. We were walking up this rather lonely trail when all of a sudden could you please shut the door for me, hear these strange noises coming from the woods. They sounded like a cross between a coyote and a bear, and they were getting louder and louder the further we got up the trail. At this point, of course, we are getting very concerned, but, could you also file these documents for me? We knew that there was no turning back. We were 4 of us, and we were prepared to fight whatever it was. During this storytelling, you can ask your conversation partner to do pretty much anything that you want without much objection. This is because their mind is focused on the story that you are telling, and their brain is yearning for the completion. While they are in this trance-like state, they are your putty to work with. Tip number 3, stay ambiguous. Ambiguity keeps your audience guessing. If you want to linger in the minds of people you interact with long after the conversation has ended, you must strike a balance between being memorable and staying ambiguous. Ambiguity keeps the mind wondering, what exactly did he mean when he said this or that? As long as their mind is wondering, you are in control of the other person. Ambiguity and vagueness confuse the conscious mind. There are things that cannot be processed by the conscious mind, and the mystery of ambiguity is one of them. In the world of dating and relationships, ambiguity can serve a particularly important role in convincing others to go out with or date you. Many relationship experts will concur that a little mystery serves a long way as far as keeping things exciting. What most does not explain is why. The reason why mystery is so exciting is that as long as you have not been fully processed and understood by a person's conscious mind, you will always linger in their mind. You can hypnotize your partner or lover into doing whatever you want them to do by always ensuring that you are ambiguous and mysterious about one or two things. Tip number 4, negative words have more impact. It is often believed that the subconscious mind cannot hear negatives. Instead, any negatives communicated to the subconscious mind are interpreted as positives. For example, if you were to tell someone, "Do not go peeking into my room when I am away," that person is likely to interpret this subconsciously as, "Do go peeking into my room when I am away." This is probably the reason why there are so many exasperated parents of kids who seem to do the exact opposite of what they are told not to do. As such, if you are looking to get someone to do something without being too direct about it, you can hypnotize their subconscious mind by using negative wording. Instead of telling your friend, "Please come over and help me pack up for my upcoming relocation," consider this: "You do not need to come over to help me pack." Throughout the course of their day, your friend's subconscious brain will be telling her that she needs to help you pack for your move, because that is how the mind interpreted your statement. Of course, whether your friend actually comes over or not is a question of how much premium she places on your friendship. Tip number 5, effective keywords. Have you noticed how sales copy or advertisements often have this descriptive wording that gets you imagining all the possibilities presented by a particular product or service? Certain words hold a particular charm when it comes to hypnotizing people. For instance, when you tell a person to imagine something, you are already sending them into a hypnotic trance where they are attuned to their subconscious mind. When they are in this state, they are more suggestible and will likely do what you ask of them. If you do not believe this, go and look up any travel destination advert and have a listen. At the end of it, you will likely be thinking of booking your next vacation to that destination. As long as the subconscious mind is imagining something, then it is getting programmed by that particular thing. This explains why some people are fearful of the dark. They have imagined the dark to contain bad things, and as long as that imagination is active, the fear remains real and present. It also explains why many people are afraid of horror movies. Think about it, there is nothing scary about horror movies. They are just a bunch of normal people acting out fake scenes, so why do you feel so afraid? Because your mind has imagined everything to be real, that's why. Protecting yourself against hypnosis. The occasional self-hypnosis in the form of a captivating book or movie is always welcome. Once in a while, it helps to escape the harsh reality of everyday life. What might not be so welcome, however, is the hypnosis brought on by other sources that you are not too comfortable with? How do you protect yourself against the hypnosis that exists in your daily life? For a start, it is important to acknowledge that you really might not be able to escape all the hypnosis that is present in your life. It would be too big of a war to fight. That being said, there are certain battles that you can win as far as hypnosis goes. One of the things that will help you to protect yourself against hypnosis is to live by principle. Living by principle does not mean being stuck up or unrelenting when you should be flexible. It simply means knowing what you will accept and what you would rather forego, instead of simply going with the flow. If you are the sort of person that goes with the flow in the name of being easygoing, you might find that you have drifted too far from the safe shore. Manipulators who prey on others through hypnosis know to attack those who are not safely anchored onto something unshakable. If you are the kind of person who, upon being told to imagine how easier your life will be with product X, rushes to buy product X unquestioningly, you will find yourself with a whole lot of clutter in your life. Having one or two principles about certain aspects of your life helps you to make more conscious decisions that are not influenced by the actions or words of other people. There's a wise person that once said that if you go looking for something, you will find it. The reason why so many people are hypnotized in their daily lives is because they are not even looking for hypnosis, so they cannot really spot it. As long as you are aware of the fact that hypnosis exists, you will be able to notice it from a mile off and guard yourself consciously against it. You will notice it when your friend tries to get you to agree to something that you would ordinarily not agree to, and you will notice it when your cunning colleague is trying to get a favor from you. Staying conscious of the fact that there are people out there who are trying their best to take advantage of you will go a long way in protecting yourself against mind control. A good thing about life is the free will that is gifted to every human being living in the civilized world. Free will means that you get to choose what you allow into your life and what does not get to make it through the gate. In today's world, there are numerous channels that are utilized to influence you. Television, movies, films, the internet, books, magazines, radio shows, the music, the list is endless. You are at liberty to choose what you allow in your life because you can be certain that most of these channels are being used to put you in a certain state of mind that is advantageous to the channel owners. In short, you get to decide what gets filtered out of your life. Choose wisely. What about hypnotherapy? Sometimes, hypnosis is used as a form of treatment for various conditions. When hypnosis is used this way, it is referred to as hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is essentially mind control where the person being controlled has given their consent for the same to a clinical psychologist. As with most alternative forms of treatment, there are divergent views on the efficacy of hypnotherapy. The fact that there is very limited research on the same does not do the case for hypnotherapy any good. Hypnosis as a form of treatment is used to help patients break bad habits such as bad eating habits, and also in the treatment of addiction, eating disorders, and even insomnia. Hypnosis is also used in childbirth where pregnant women are advised to self-hypnotize so that they can prepare themselves mentally for almost painless childbirth. This is referred to as hypnobirthing and essentially involves the programming of the subconscious mind for pain-free labor.